Hey, welcome back, everybody. Of course, you know me. My name is Dr. Keith McNally, and this is Coach's Corner. I'm here with Ann, and Zoom has totally forgot her last name. So I'm going to have Ann introduce herself. But before we even get into that, in our first conversation, I watched some of her LinkedIn Live content. And she is really good at honing in on helping coaches find their target niche. And so that's part of what we want to talk about today. So Anne, go ahead and introduce yourself and the name of your company, and let's get started in that conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Keith. So, my name is Anne du Plessis. It's an Afrikaans surname, not French. People always ask me that. And basically, I'm trading as Anne du Plessis. And what I do is work with purpose-driven service providers and help them grow their businesses and attract their best fit clients to them in the easiest, most empowered way possible.
Well, I really like that. And so your LinkedIn Live content was really focusing in on how to do that specifically. So talk to me a little bit about how you got into that and why honing in on who your clientele is really important for scaling and growing business.
Yeah, so to cut a very long story short, I got into the coaching industry just over 5 years ago. And I'd come from digital marketing. I had a little agency here in South Africa. And the very first coaching program that I went into was very expensive, firstly. And it was sold to me in a way that I was going to have those 10K months by the time I finished the 3 month program, right? And little me, naive me, believed them. I desperately wanted to believe that because I was in a situation where I really needed the money and the clients. But the program didn't live up to expectations. I didn't book any clients for 18 months, even after doing that program. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Wait, you said 18, like a whole
a
year?
Yeah, a
A
whole
year?
year and a half, a whole
Wow.
year and a half of trying to follow what I'd learned in that program. And there are a number of reasons why it didn't work for me. Firstly, that program was not geared for beginners. It was a big group coaching program. And obviously, I only learned this afterwards and with some experience. But the testimonials that they were sharing were from coaches who had been around a while. They had clients and they just needed a few small tweaks to be able to get those amazing results. Beginners, they need very, very different help. They need a lot of hand holding, they need one-on-one kind of support. So it wasn't the right fit for me. And a lot of the methods that they taught, I just didn't align with. So I tried and I tried and I tried to make it work based on what I learned because I thought that was the way that you got clients online, right? I
Right,
thought
right.
that was the best way, but it didn't work for me. So over time, and as I developed and grew and figured things out for myself, I realized that there are a few things that you need if you want to be able to grow and scale your coaching business. One of them being you got to make sure that your clients are the best fit possible. So a lot of people kind of sell and market to everyone, and they think that by doing that, they're going to attract more people. They're scared to kind of limit their niche. They're scared to limit their possibilities of booking clients. But those coaches who will work with kind of anyone often end up with clients who, like me, don't get the results that they wanted. They drop off halfway. They're just not a good fit,
Hmm.
right? So they end up with half of their clients unhappy, not getting what they wanted, and the other half doing really, really well. But the coaches typically don't know the reasons why this is happening, right? They
Right.
can't, when you're in it, you can't see the wood for the trees. So it's hard to tell. So that is why one of the things that I really, really focus on with my clients is figuring out who the best fit client for them is, what criteria their clients need to have in place already to be able to get results as quickly as possible. And of course, as you evolve and you develop in your own coaching practice, you tend to want to start working with more and more advanced and sophisticated clients. And obviously, then you can start to charge more and more and more as well. But again, with every new level, there's a new devil, right? Coaches will try and go, and I made this mistake myself. They will try and go from working with someone at a beginner level to someone more advanced, but they're still talking and their marketing and their messaging to the more beginner person, and the advanced person is not connecting the dots. This coach can help them.
Right.
So it's all very intertwined and very, very nuanced.
So I want to go back to your 18 months of completing the program, no clients. That must have been a very frustrating experience for you. So how did you connect the dots? And so that's really the power here is going from finishing the program to, oh, slapping your, head and, oh, now I get it. So what was that transformation for you?
So there were a couple of things. I went through a couple of other programs, right? I didn't just stop at that one. I continued investing, which a lot of people won't do. But in the process, I found myself getting more and more in debt as well. So I had to figure it out. I went through a couple of other programs, and I spoke to a ton of coaches who were more advanced. I interviewed a lot of people because I was trying to put the pieces together and figure it out. And so it was through that process, through the other programs I went into, and through speaking with more advanced coaches, I started to connect the dots on where some people were getting results and where some people weren't. And through systems and processes of, these people are doing well in this area, but not well in this area. And it kind of it took a couple of years, but over time, the whole puzzle piece kind of put itself together.
Good, good.
And
So
then,
go ahead, go ahead.
and then from there, I started seeing it with my own clients. So I was enrolling clients, and again, some of them were getting amazing results really, really quickly, and then some of them weren't doing as well. I was having to push them or pull them through, check up on them all the time, really give them extra support, and those were typically the more beginner kind of people.
Well, earlier you said that beginner coaches need more hand-holding. So they need to really understand or learn to understand the nuances of what it means to not just be a coach, but to be a business owner, because there's marketing, there's advertising, there's being authentic. It's all those pieces. It's not just being a coach. It's how you communicate your value to your specific audience. So, can you give us some insight into how coaches can communicate their specific value to their specific audience? Are there some,
Yeah, absolutely.
go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of it will come from personal experience, right? And so I work specifically with purpose driven people. So
But define
those
that.
are, yeah.
Define purpose driven.
Yeah, so purpose driven coaches, they normally offer something transformational. So most often they've gone through some horrible life experience, they've gone through a divorce, a breakup, they've been through something, right? And they've managed to overcome it. And now they're on a mission to help other people heal or move on or not experience the thing that they went through. So when it comes to sharing your value and how you can serve your market best, I encourage my clients to share their story, to not do it in a disempowering way where they're kind of seeking attention and they're just negative and looking for pity, but in a more empowering way. So it's kind of like, look, I see you, I understand what you're going through, you can get to the other side. I know that because I did. Here's how I did it. You know what I mean? So it's about lifting people up. And so in terms of purpose driven, more beginner versus more advanced, the people who are like really in the weeds of their problem are likely to be stuck in victim mindset quite a bit. They're still angry, they're still blaming. So obviously there's certain tools coach is going to need to have in their back pocket to be able to support that kind of person. They have got to be prepared themselves to do that and to be able to speak to the type of work that they do and exactly how it works. Whereas for people who are a little more advanced, further along on their journey, they might not be in victim, they might not be angry anymore. They would have started the healing process and they're looking for, the next awesome thing that comes along. They're more aspirational. They're more, this is what I want my life to, I've been there, I've done that. I didn't like it. I'm in this weird place right now. This is where I want to go to. So the coaches who would help those people will have different tools in their back pocket to support them on that part of the journey. So it's all about really understanding who it is you're talking to, who it is you want to attract, and making sure your marketing and your messaging aligns specifically with that person, the way they see their problems and the world and the things that they're trying to achieve. Does that make sense?
It perfectly. So what I want you to do, if you can, give us an abbreviated short story of how you walk somebody through, like a newbie, a novice coach, where they're now successful. Do you have such a story?
I don't work with real beginners, to be
Okay.
honest.
Well, how would you tell like a beginner who's watching this and saying, I like what she has to say. I want to get in contact with you. Can you help me?
Yeah.
Because they are
So
purpose driven.
yeah, they are absolutely, and they've got experience in what they do because they've experienced it, right?
Hmm.
So I always tell, we always start with you. Who are you? What have you experienced? What have you been through? What is it that you are passionate about? What are you fired up about and lit up about? For someone who hasn't had clients yet, you are your starting point because you're looking for a past version of you. So who are you, who were you before you got, to this point? How did you experience life? What were you thinking, feeling, saying, doing? Where was it you were trying to go? And what were the mistakes that you were making along the way?
I like that. So what are successful clients talking about you? So what are they saying about you?
My
Your
clients,
yeah, your successful clients. What are they saying about you?
uh, they say that I'm a lot of fun to work with. Um, they say that I take complex things and make them really, really simple, and that I completely turn their businesses upside down to make them more efficient and scalable, and the whole process of marketing messaging a lot more enjoyable.
Cool. So you said that you are in South Africa, if I
South
remember
Africa.
correctly.
Yeah.
Where do you find where are your clients from? Are you global or you just contained yourself in South? So talk to us about
No.
where your
Most of
clients
my
are.
clients, most of my clients are in the UK or in the US.
Okay. And so how can
Yeah.
they find you? I guess on LinkedIn, because that's how we connected. Um, email, website?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn.
Okay,
I'm on Facebook, and my website is anduplessis.com.
cool. And so I'm going to have all of that contact information in the description of this video. Before we leave the conversation, inspire somebody today to turn that coaching program that they have around. What's the first thing that they got to do?
Start with themselves. Be selfish. Literally, be selfish. Um, don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about trying to model your favorite coach or look at your competitors. Be selfish and figure out what would make you ridiculously happy to offer and to deliver and to fulfill.
Wow. I like that. I love that focus on authenticity and an internal focus on self. And thank you so much for this conversation. For those of you who are watching, listening, this has been another edition of Coach's Corner, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
Thank you.